Chapter 1. The Crash Landing. I never thought I'd end up here, on an alien planet, stranded and alone. It wasn't supposed to happen like this. My mission was simple: explore, document, and return. But a malfunction in the navigation system had thrown everything off course, and before I knew it, my ship was spiraling down into the unknown. The crash landing on Vailian 7, a planet far from the core of the galaxy, was jarring. The atmosphere was thick, the air dense with humidity and strange, unfamiliar sounds that echoed from the dense jungle. I was alive, but my ship was a wreck, and my communications were down. I had no way of contacting my crew or sending out a distress signal. I stumbled out of the wreckage, my legs shaky from the impact. My spacesuit was damaged, but I was unharmed, at least physically. The landscape stretched out before me in a mix of vibrant greens and towering trees, but the immediate challenge was survival. I needed to find shelter, food, and water, things I could manage on Earth, but this was not Earth. Every step I took seemed to echo with the mystery of the planet, and I couldn't shake the feeling that I wasn't alone. As night fell, the dense jungle around me became darker, the air thick with the chirps and calls of unseen creatures. I needed to find a safe place to rest. My thoughts raced. There were no signs of civilization in sight. Yet something deep inside told me I wasn't truly alone on Vailian 7. Chapter 2. The Encounter. The next morning, I ventured further into the jungle, trying to make sense of my situation. I scavenged for food, finding strange fruits and water sources, but it wasn't long before I stumbled upon something that changed everything. I was walking along a narrow path when I heard voices, soft, melodic voices, unlike anything I'd ever heard before. As I rounded a bend in the trail, I found them, a group of women, standing in a clearing, their bodies adorned with intricate tattoos and ceremonial clothing. They were tall, strong, and graceful, with features that seemed otherworldly. Their eyes, large and bright, with a shimmering violet hue, stared at me with curiosity and something deeper. They had never seen a man before. In fact, these women were from a tribe that had been without men for generations. The last known men of their people had disappeared during a great war many years ago. Since then, they had lived in isolation, relying solely on their community of women to maintain their traditions and their way of life. I froze, unsure of what to do. The last thing I expected was to come across a tribe like this. I had no idea what they would think of me, or if they even recognized me as a human, let alone a male of their species. They circled around me, their eyes filled with both wonder and caution. One of the women stepped forward. She was taller than the others, her long silver hair flowing freely, her eyes gleaming with intensity. "Who are you?" she asked, her voice soft yet commanding. "You are different. Not like us." I'm human," I stammered, trying to make sense of the situation. "I've been stranded here. My ship crashed, and I need help." She studied me for a long moment, then nodded. "You are a man," she whispered to herself, almost as if confirming a thought she hadn't fully understood. Her words hung in the air, heavy with unspoken meaning. I looked around at the others, who stood in silence, their gazes fixed on me. It became clear none of them had seen a man in years. For generations, they had lived without them, surviving solely on the strength and wisdom of their women. But now, their world had been turned upside down by the appearance of someone like me. Chapter 3. The Offering. The woman who had spoken to me, who introduced herself as Seris, led me deeper into their village. It was built within the heart of the jungle, a collection of homes woven from the trees and surrounded by lush vegetation. The women of the tribe moved about their daily tasks, cooking, weaving, and tending to their community. Their society, though without men, seemed strong, built on unity and mutual respect. Seris explained that their tribe had survived for generations without male influence, relying on their own strength and intellect to carry on their people's legacy. But she also revealed something I had not anticipated. Their people were dying. They had reached a biological crossroads where reproduction was no longer possible without the introduction of male genetics. In short, they needed me. "You are the first man we've seen in years," Seris said, her eyes locked on mine. "We have been without you, without your kind. Our people are at the brink of extinction, and your presence here, might be the key to our survival." My mind raced. Was I supposed to be some kind of savior? How could I, a mere human, be the answer to their prayers? It was too much to process. But as the days passed, I came to understand that these women had more than just a biological need for me. They saw me as something else, a hope, perhaps, or a bridge between their past and their future. Seris and the other women offered me a place among them. They took me in, fed me, and shared their customs. But it wasn't long before I began to feel the weight of their expectations. They wanted me to help them in ways I never imagined, and not just in the ways I thought I could. Their tribe, though peaceful, had a deep longing for connection, something they hadn't had for generations. Seris, in particular, grew close to me. She was both a leader and a protector of her people, and I could sense that she felt a responsibility for me that went beyond simple gratitude. She showed me the ways of their people, teaching me their traditions and their history, and over time, our connection grew deeper. Chapter 4: A New Beginning. It was in the stillness of one moonlit night, under the canopy of stars, that I realized the true depth of my bond with the tribe, and with Seris. She had shared not only her knowledge and strength, but her heart. I wasn't just a stranger lost on their planet anymore. I was a part of something, a part of their future. One evening, as we sat together by the fire, Seris leaned in closer, her eyes filled with something I hadn't expected to see, a deep affection and a quiet understanding. "You have given us more than we could have ever asked for," she said softly. "Our people need you, but so do I." In the days that followed, I made my choice. I would stay with the tribe. I would help them rebuild their future. And in return, they had given me a new sense of purpose. I would help them repopulate their world. And in the process, I would create a new family, a family of women who had known nothing but each other, now connected by the arrival of one man, one human. We had all been searching for something. For me, it was survival. But for them, it was hope, a future that now seemed possible. I had become more than just a survivor. I had become their chance for a new beginning.